You've probably heard that your thyroid runs your metabolism, but how does that work? And can you improve your thyroid function just by making better food choices? Hi, I'm Dr. Becky from drbeckyfitness.com. I'm a college instructor on the science of nutrition, and in this video I'm going to share with you the nutrients that your thyroid gland needs to run your metabolism at its optimal level. So let's start with how the thyroid hormones run your metabolism. And here's the thing. Every cell in your body must have thyroid hormone in order to create energy. So every cell in your body has these little, so this is a cell, right, just a normal little circle for a demonstration. Every cell in your body has these little organelles called mitochondria. The job of a mitochondria is to take food energy, which is sugar, and convert that into an energy source that the body can use, which is ATP. Okay? So the mitochondria, its job is to pump out usable energy, ATP. But mitochondria won't do that unless they're told to do so by your thyroid hormone. Okay? And the active form of your thyroid hormone is T3. So I like to think of T3 as the plug that plugs into your mitochondria so they're capable of pumping out energy. So in order for this mitochondria or your cell to make energy, T3's got to get inside the cell and it's got to plug into the mitochondria, and now energy pumps out. So sugar molecules go in, ATP comes out. Now, you have trillions of these cells in your body, and all of these cells are getting thyroid hormone and they're pumping out energy. So when you have just the right amount of thyroid hormone circulating through your body, then this is just a well-oiled machine. And so you are constantly pumping out energy. Every cell, you're getting this huge cumulative effect of energy. You feel vital, you feel alive, and you're just always full of energy. That's how things are supposed to work. But what if that's not the way it's working? What if something's gone wrong and you don't have this T3 working for you? Well, that is what hypothyroidism is all about. Something is going wrong at some stage in the process so that T3 is not getting in here and plugging into the mitochondria. So, a couple of different places things can go wrong. You might not be producing the thyroid hormone from your thyroid gland, which is a little gland that sits in your neck here. Or you might have thyroid hormone in your body, but it's inactive. So it's having trouble converting from the inactive form of thyroid hormone to the active form. Or you are having problems getting the active thyroid hormone into your cells where they can do their job. Okay? So each one of those areas where things can go wrong, either making the thyroid hormone, activating it, or moving the active form into your cells, guess what? It has to do with specific nutrients that you need to get into your diet. And that is how your diet affects your thyroid function, which affects your metabolism. So let's look at each nutrient specifically, talk about the foods that you want to eat to get these nutrients so you can get your metabolism humming along. So to make thyroid hormones, so your thyroid gland pumps out the thyroid hormones, you need iodine and tyrosine. Iodine is, we tend to think of iodine, I think, with salt, and we think of iodized salt, which is one way to get that into your diet. But you can also think of salty foods. So seaweed, saltwater fish like tuna would have iodine in it. So those would be things that you can add to your diet to give your thyroid some good support. Tyrosine is an amino acid. That's a building block of protein. So we find tyrosine often in our meats. Red meat is a good source of tyrosine. Chicken, eggs, fish are good sources of tyrosine. So if you think about it here, tyrosine comes from animal products mainly. So I know I have a lot of people that follow me on YouTube that are interested in vegetarian or vegan diets, and I will tell you that those types of diets are not the best for supporting your thyroid. So if you choose to follow that type of a diet, you may need to supplement your diet with a good thyroid multivitamin. I recommend one that was formulated by Dr. Amy Myers, who is a very prominent doctor, deals with thyroid problems and autoimmune issues. I will link to my blog post that talks about that multivitamin if you're interested in that. Okay, so then activating the thyroid hormones. So you have a lot of different types of thyroid hormones floating through your body. Some of them are inactive and some of them are active. You have inactive thyroid hormone called T4 that sits in your tissues. So it's there, it's readily available. When you need it, it can get converted to the active form, which is T3. But in order to do that, guess what? We need some nutrients, right? The nutrients that help to convert inactive to active thyroid are selenium, iron, and zinc. Here again, these can all be found in red meat, but these can also be found in plant foods as well. Your leafy greens, and specifically spinach, are good sources of selenium, zinc, iron as well for leafy greens. You can also find selenium, we think of a lot of times with Brazil nuts, are very rich in selenium. Nuts and seeds are also going to have a good supply of zinc in them as well. So you do want to have those types of foods, nuts and seeds, leafy greens in your diet to support your thyroid, and you want to be eating them on a regular basis, on a daily basis. Lastly, moving the T3, the active form of thyroid hormone, into your cells is going to require healthy fats. And that is because this membrane that is around your cells, well, it is mostly fat. So giving yourself healthy fats is going to support that cell membrane. That is going to make it much easier for thyroid hormone to cross into your cell. So omega-3 fatty acids, we think of those with fatty fish. Those would be like your tuna, wild salmon, sardines are high in omega-3s. But also your nuts and seeds, flax seeds, things like that are going to have omega-3s in them. All right, so those are foods that you can get into your diet to help support your thyroid function. But what about foods to avoid? Well, I don't have room to put them here, but let's go over a couple of those of things that you're eating maybe in your daily diet now that are causing damage to your thyroid hormone. Specific problems with, when we're talking about inflammatory foods, gluten and dairy proteins. So specifically these proteins, the gluten and dairy proteins, cause damage to the lining of the gut. Leaky gut is really what I'm getting at. Now that's leaky gut is such a simplified term. I think sometimes we don't maybe take it serious as the implications it can have for our thyroid, but it does become a very serious situation. So basically what leaky gut is that you have a lining in the wall of your digestive tract that has very tight junctions. When you have leaky gut, you literally have spaces developed between those cell junctions. Now those proteins and other food particles can pass out of your intestinal tract and get into your bloodstream. When they're in your blood, your immune system sees them and doesn't recognize them, so it attacks them. Now here's how leaky gut ties in with your thyroid. Gluten and dairy proteins tend to look a lot like your thyroid cells. So it's called molecular mimicry. So when these proteins, gluten and dairy, get into your bloodstream, your immune system starts to attack. But because the thyroid cell looks like those proteins, well, guess what? The thyroid cells also become under attack as well. So it's kind of like they become victims of friendly fire. And that damaged thyroid gland is now not going to be able to pump out the needed thyroid hormone, and you end up with hypothyroidism. Another food that can be damaging to the intestinal tract is sugar. So a lot of times we think, well, I'll just do an artificial sweetener. Well, I talk a little bit more about this on the blog, but one in particular, one type of artificial sweetener called Splenda, will actually give you problems with absorption of zinc and iodine. So if you are relying heavily on Splenda and you feel like you might have some thyroid problems going on, you want to cut that out, okay? Also, we talked about the need for healthy fats to build this cell membrane. Well, the opposite works as well. So if we're eating a lot of unhealthy fats in our diet, then we can damage this cell membrane and we'll have a harder time getting thyroid hormone into the mitochondria to plug them in so we can get that energy out. Harmful fats, trans fats, hydrogenated oils. I tend to look at ingredients lists. If hydrogenated is in that ingredients list, or vegetable oil or soybean oil, which are often hydrogenated, stay away from that. Okay? So thyroid is a big topic. It has a lot of different avenues. I go into more detail over at my blog post. You might want to check that out. Also, I put together a list of 10 foods that you really should be eating to support your thyroid function. If you would like that list in a downloadable form, I will put a link here on the video and you can go ahead and pick that up. That's it for today. I hope this was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will be back with some more later. Bye-bye.